Good evening. Yes, how are we feeling today? Awesome. So we have a very dynamic evening planned for you guys today. I appreciate you for coming out to our kickoff Mavericks on the Move event. Yay, give yourselves a round of applause. Woohoo! So we promised to deliver 3 things to you today. Number 1, we promised to tell you how to optimize your online presence so that you can boost more sales. Number 2, we are going to reveal how you can get customers to pay attention to you. And number 3, we're going to give you some secret online traffic tips so you can boom your biz, brand, and bank. And to my people on the street, come on over, baby. I see you. I would like to introduce our esteemed panelists who are dominating in their own industry. So give me a round of applause for Brian, Dallas, and Navari. First, we have Brian Lobick. He is the founder of LobickInc.com, an award-winning technology blog, theinkblog.net. Brian has over 15 years of experience working as a practitioner and administrator in the small business, nonprofit, human service, and technology fields with a special emphasis on SEO, web design, and social media. In the middle, we have Dallas Gordon. Dallas is an e-com coach and marketing strategist. We call her the e-com cash queen. She helps business owners expand their earnings, and she also successfully launched her first Shopify store in July 2014 and has since become a top producer and earner on Shopify, Amazon, eBay, and other online marketing places. And she is the e-com cash queen because she can give you some secret traffic generating tips so you can get more sales. And my whole philosophy is eyeballs. It's all about eyeballs. Attention is the currency of the digital space. She who controls the eyeballs also controls the pockets. And last but not least, we have Navari Carter. He is the founder of Intuitive Creative Agency. He is a brand strategist and a multi-award-winning graphic designer. He received 2 Graphic Designer of the Year awards in 2017 alone and is regarded as one of the top designers in DC. Let's give him another round of applause. So let me tell you how this is going to go. I want this to be as interactive as possible. If you have a question for our panelists, raise your hand. We're going to do some Q&A at the end, and stick around. You should have put your business card in the jar right here. You see, that's my mom. Say hi, mommy. And we're going to do a giveaway after the panelists reveal these secret generating traffic tips. And we have over $800 worth of giveaways. And I know we're going to have a lot of people trickling in, so I'm going to rely on you, Mrs. Corbitt in the front, to get those business cards. She got it under control. All right. Are we ready to begin? Say yes. When I say Mavericks on the, you say move. Mavericks on the, move. Mavericks on the, move. And that's what we're going to do. Let's move it.
Are we on?
Are your mics good? Did we do a mic check?
Hello.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
Can you guys hear okay?
Can you hear this?
All right. So I actually want to start with each of your backgrounds. Would you be able to give me a brief synopsis of why you started your business and what makes you qualified to share your expertise today? So let's go Navari, Dallas, and Brian.
Definitely. So, okay, here we go. So pretty much, I started my career 6 years ago. Went to the University of DC, graduated from there, got my degree, and went on to Corcoran College of Art and Design on a scholarship. And during that process, I was already freelancing within my business. It was working for me, couldn't balance that in the 9 to 5, so I dropped out and went full-time in my business. And here we are, 6 years later. The business has been around for like 2.5 years. I won DMV's Best Graphic Designer 2017 at the Titan Arts Awards and the Music and Movie Awards. And from there, I just went forth in my business. And
he sounds like a maverick on the move, right?
Yeah.
Dallas?
I decided to start my business some years ago, about 11 years ago. And I began my business because, frankly, I was tired of the four walls of my office. I wanted to break out of that shell and take a bet on myself. So I did that, and I did that by starting to sell online some years ago. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had one baby in one arm, selling online with the other, but just being persistent over some years, about, I would say, like maybe 4 to 5 years of doing that consistently, I began teaching other people how to do the same, how to create a life of freedom with online selling as well. I've also become an expert with traffic strategies and marketing strategies as well. So I also help other entrepreneurs and business owners to increase their traffic and sales online. Here I am.
I hear a kind of a common theme between the three of us is we've all kind of started our business in the last 6-7 years. So what started my business was I got laid off from a chief operating officer job. I was working for a statewide nonprofit in Virginia. I laid some people off. I got laid off. It was during that downturn of the economy, and so my wife was in medical school at VCU at the time, and we didn't know where she was going to go, and so we prayed about it, and we decided, I've always done web design as a little side hustle thing, as part of my major in my MBA at Marquette. And so she's also an Army doctor, so we don't know where she's going to be going. They could deploy her to anywhere. And so we decided I'll just do web design full time and follow you around, since you'll be making the money. And what winds up, I'm making quite a bit of money myself. So it's I moved to this area because she was stationed at Walter Reed, and so I joined the business networking group, and my business has really just more than doubled every year since, actually.
That's amazing. And we selected these panelists just because we know that you've had success online. You guys have used traffic generating strategies, and I know Brian is a networking guru. He's always networking with people, so he's definitely the one to exponentially grow his business in a short amount of time. So I've actually met all of you guys online. Dallas and Brian are part of my I Am a Brand online network, and Navari is connected to Brian. So with the rise of social media, how has social media personally impacted the trajectory of each of your businesses? I know we'll start with Brian, because you said that you started 6 years ago and you've been making quite a bit of money over the last few years, right?
Social media has really helped. I feel like it's really helped drive my business, because one of the ways that I stay connected with my customers is through social media. And so when I bring on a new client, our customer, I figure out what is their favorite social media platform. If it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat, whatever it is, I get on there, and then I stay in touch with them on whatever their social media channel is the best for them. However they want to communicate the best, that's how I connect with them. And that's really helped me kind of establish a presence on all those social media platforms. I do services on all those social media platforms, so it's good for me to understand those and get connected. And so that really started when I started doing that in web design. I was following all my clients on like LinkedIn or whatever. That really, getting familiar with all those social media platforms helped generate the social media services side of my business. And so I started providing those services. And my biggest client to date for social media has been the Bethesda Blues and Jazz Club. Did all their social media, email marketing, web design for about 3.5 years. And so that really got us that really helped boost my social media knowledge and presence and connections.
Thank you.
Well, if you're not connected to a social media platform or some kind of platform, it's really, really hard to get traffic to your business if you're not plugged into some kind of a platform. So for me, being as though my primary reason for starting my online business was kind of to be an introvert, a loner in my own little corner, making my own money, I realized over time that wasn't the way to go. So I started plugging into different social media platforms, and I found that when I did, I began meeting other entrepreneurs that were doing similar things to what I was doing. I started mingling. I feel like the more you connect, you can speed up your growth almost, because you start to rub shoulders, you start to exchange information, really helps you to advance quicker when you open yourself up to relationships. So social media has not just been a great traffic tool for my business and for some of my students' businesses, whether it be paid or free traffic, but social media has also been a great relationship building tool. So I feel like when you plug in, you know, you get involved with different entrepreneurs and begin rubbing shoulders with them, it really does improve you as a business owner.
So you would say that social media has greatly impacted the trajectory of your business by connecting you with other people online?
Right.
In different ecosystems.
Right.
Like the I Am a Brand community. Quick plug.
Yep.
Navari.
Social media has definitely helped me a lot by usually really just telling my story. I noticed over time being a designer, you know, using Instagram or Facebook and material to pretty much show your work speaks a lot of volume. But in particular, I realized that when I started telling my truth of my process, my journey, it really touched people and made an impact. And what I realize now in this era, people really want to connect with who you are more so than what you do. So people actually want to see exactly like what you're doing and, you know, how you're doing it in particular, like where you're at. You know, like right now I'm a brand and you see Jamilah live streaming it. And that really draws a live engagement to your brand in particular because people really want to know you now. They want to feel like they know you and part of your brand.
Thank you. And would you say in this day and age that if your business isn't online, you run the risk of going out of business? What are your opinions on that? Let's start with Brian.
I say it depends. I have a close business associate in my business networking group. He eschews social media and web. He just says he doesn't have a website, but he actually does have a website. He's on House. So he's an architect. The way he gets all his business is really word of mouth and through kind of formal business networking, traditional business networking. But he does have an internet presence on the House platform, which is like a platform for developers, designers, architects, that kind of thing. And so he does get business through there. So I tell him, you know, I push back. I'm like, you are online. You do get business there. So, but I think he could do a lot more. He's like a one-man shop. I think if he would get himself out there on these social media platforms and be more present, he could really build his business. But that's where he wants to be. He wants to be a solo architect. He's happy with it. He does well. He doesn't want to grow. I'm interested in growing. I'm going to be on all that stuff.
So you're saying he's leaving money on the table?
Yes, ma'am.
There we go. Navari, let's go to you, and then we'll go to Dallas.
I would say it really does depend, but I would say it helps a lot, especially because you can reach a way larger audience for less money through Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn in particular. LinkedIn really helps a lot of really connecting because it shows the connections that you do have. So when you do connect with people, send them a message, send them a note, 9 times out of 10 you can actually see who you have in common connections with and introduce one another. It's very small cities, so it really help you get out there a little bit more.
I agree with you guys. I mean, I think that anything is possible. I think that somebody could possibly survive if they aren't in the online space. But coming from an e-commerce standpoint, I feel like if you are not staying ahead of the curve, ahead of the trends, you are in trouble. And in the e-com world, lots of stores and companies are going out of business every single day. And I believe it's because some companies are stuck in their ways and they're not advancing. They refuse to advance.
Like Toys R Us.
Exactly. You refuse to advance and move with the trends. And I just think that when you refuse to grow and stay in front of the curve and stay in front of the trend, you can possibly risk losing business only because right now the digital space offers people with so much convenience. And when you don't provide that for your business can possibly be at risk. So that's my take on that one.
And I appreciate your take because let's talk about e-com really quickly. How many of you in the audience know what e-commerce is exactly? Does anyone want to share what they think their definition of e-commerce is? Anyone? Yeah. Yes, that is a component of e-commerce, but however, and we've had this discussion multiple times, e-commerce, if you are a business and you are selling anything online, it doesn't necessarily have to be on Shopify, it doesn't necessarily have to be on eBay, but if you're selling an ebook or you're selling t-shirts or whatever products or services you sell, you're still in e-commerce, right? So would you explain a little bit more on that? Like 100%. Exactly what e-commerce is?
E-commerce is basically the trade of goods online. So it doesn't matter what you're trading. You could be trading your services or actual physical products, your advice, whatever it is. As long as the transaction is happening in the online space, it becomes e-commerce and e-commerce transactions.
Yeah, good. Okay, each of you have a very specific expertise. So within your expertise, how do you get those eyeballs to your website or interested in your service and then make them want to buy from you? And let's start with Navari.
In particular, I mean, mine's is unique because I get a lot of, well, it's not unique, but a lot of referrals from word of mouth. But through social media, I would say in particular, Instagram helps a lot because I can visually show what I do since I'm a designer, so you can actually see my work before you actually try me. So that's been extremely helpful. And also through it, telling your story, again, like what I was saying before, through pretty much the live streaming on there, Instagram stories in particular. And it's honestly telling my truth. In particular, what I want to say, I'll keep bringing that up, is because of the fact that, like, through entrepreneurship journey in particular, it's been a struggle because I'm a young entrepreneur, so I actually put that out there because I know most times on Instagram people ain't put their successes. So when you actually expose yourself and show like the hard work that goes behind it and the struggles and the letdowns, people are really engaged into that a lot more, and they really have a more loyal fan base to you when you do that.
So the topic of today is how to reach 1 million people online, and we're going to deliver that information through these discussions. So Navari, let's touch on Instagram because you made a very interesting point about sharing your story, using that platform to share your work and share your journey. Can you give the audience some actionable tips as to how they can reach customers online? Because everyone wants to reach 1 million people, but I'm all about reaching that one person. Then that one person will tell 10 other people, and then those 10 other people will tell 100 other people. So give us some actionable tips for Instagram, for our business owners out here that may be listening on the replay.
Definitely. I would say to engage in other people's posts, like it, comment, be consistent with it. Also, hop in people's DMs and pretty much like direct message them and offer them value instead of seeing what you can get from them. Give before you can take from someone, and a lot of people really draw a lot of trust to you and favor for you when you do that. And people work with who they like, who they trust, and who they know. So that's the greatest way to build trust with somebody that you don't know.
Thank you. Dallas, can you answer the same question?
Sure.
Yes, we have a question.
So you're talking about social media, you're talking about followers and journey and all of that, and then you're talking about e-commerce as well. How do you differentiate between those people who are following you from a social perspective and those people who are truly customers for you? Because I train in the corporate world, but my online presence seems to reach people from a social perspective, and trying to marry the two has been my struggle.
You know what? That you bring up an interesting question. We're going to table that because we're going to talk a little bit about that. That was one of the questions that I'm going to touch on because I think a lot of people share your same challenge. So Dallas, do me a favor, answer the question of how do you get those eyeballs to your website and interested in your services and make them want to buy from you?
Okay, I fall in and out of love with strategies all the time. Sometimes I fall in and out of love with different platforms all the time, depending on what time of year. Different strategies work better than others, but social media is definitely one of the most powerful ways to get eyeballs on you and to get people to your website. Different platforms. Let me tell you my favorites. YouTube is one of my favorites right now, only because you can quickly build trust when people can see you. You know, when you're doing business online, you kind of lose that face-to-face interaction with someone. So when they're online, you have to show them who you are. When they can look in your eyes, they can see you smile, they can see you get excited or show emotion, I feel like that builds trust. So I'd say YouTube, Instagram, definitely Facebook ads. You can definitely run ads as well to bring traffic into your website. But I feel like that personal touch, social media provides you the opportunity to give people that personal touch. And if you don't give it to them, they may not really be able to relate to something about you or feel enough trust to buy from you.
Specifically, and I know you've had a lot of success, and you didn't even mention this with Pinterest. She didn't even mention Pinterest, y'all. Your pins have actually reached millions of people online. So give us a couple of strategies for Pinterest and how we can drive traffic from Pinterest to our website.
So with Pinterest, the way that you really get started, you set yourself up, create a business account, very easy. What I love about Pinterest is that Pinterest allows you access to so much information completely free. I mean, like your analytics, it tells you what your visitors are doing, what they're clicking on. It tells you how many people are visiting your website because of whatever pin that you put out there. It's basically like a virtual pin board, like a bulletin board. It's more advanced than those ones that we hang on our wall. It's basically virtual. So some tips would be I always say, start with following businesses that are similar to your own. Don't reinvent the wheel. What you can do is mirror their strategies, but in your own way. Look at what they're doing, see what's working, see what's causing the best reaction with their followers, and then you can incorporate that for your business in your own way. What I would say is the more that you pin, the more traffic you're going to get. So with that platform, you have to look at it kind of like for the long game. It's not immediate gratification or immediate sales, but it's something that you build in the long term. And if you pin consistently on a daily basis, and it's all about visual, so it's all about catching your customers' attention. It's all about what emotions those pictures cause in your customers. You have to think about, okay, what would my ideal customer want to see? And those are the kind of things that you want to pin. And the more consistently that you do it every single day, the more traffic happens. So the more followers, the more pins equals sales, and sales equals traffic, and traffic eventually equals sales. You get enough of it.
Yes, love that. And Brian, what's your answer to this question? How would you suggest customers using online strategies to get people to buy from them?
Totally different from SEO. I'm going to give an example of social media. Totally different from social media. I would say SEO has been a great strategy for myself and for my clients to bring those eyeballs to their websites. It might sound probably a good 40-50% of my business is helping websites improve in their rankings and their visibility. When somebody's typing in Hotel Washington D.C., our Hotel RL wants to come up, and so I work with a lot of businesses to help optimize for those keywords. And I've actually not done that very much for my own website because I've been getting like word of mouth referrals like through this business networking group. However, I've started to have my team like focus on my website, and guess what? Like I'm getting people, I'm getting people now that I don't know, I've never seen before, that are finding my website through SEO, through those random searches. I had somebody yesterday just fill out a law firm from Southern Maryland. They filled out my onboarding questionnaire for becoming a client. It's not something, it's really public. You had to dig through my stuff to get to it. And they filled it out and gave me all their login information, and I haven't even talked to them or given them a quote. I'm like, they gave me the entire,
wow.
They gave me all the logins, and so I emailed them back like, so would you like a quote on your information, or sounds like you want to do business? And they're like, yes,
it's done.
We checked out your stuff, and so yeah, that was like just yesterday.
And
SEO.
I want to dig a little deeper into your expertise, and I love this panel because they offer 3 different ingredients to the same problem. So together we bake a whole cake, but Brian is the milk. You guys know I'm the master chef. I do a cooking show every Friday. Look at Valencia's face. So Brian is the butter, Dallas is the sugar, and Navari is the icing. And I don't know what else goes in the cake, but all of us together, we bake a cake together. And Brian, let's dig a little deeper in terms of SEO. Now, when we use social media, that can help our SEO as well, and other sites like Google and what else? How can we get our websites to rank on Google, and from an SEO perspective, how can we drive traffic?
The single most important thing you can do to rank on Google is claim your Google My Business profile. So even if you're working from home, even if you're an artist selling art and you're painting at home, you need to create a Google My Business profile. It's really become a social media platform at this point. Just in October, it was just about 4 weeks ago, Google has allowed people to start posting on their Google My Business platform. And so you can actually post content now onto your Google My Business platform. It shows up in the Google Maps. So when, like this event, for example, Maverick's on the move. I've got an event posted on Google My Business, and so anybody searching for anything related to my business is going to see us happening on the event. And it shows up in Google Maps. And so if you do nothing else, if you don't do SEO on your website, the first thing I always tell clients when I'm doing a major SEO process, first thing I do is I go to their Google My Business page to see if they've claimed it. So number one, claim it if it's out there. If they don't have one, then create one. We'll create it for them as part of the SEO process if they don't have one. But then you create that link from the Google My Business page over to your website, and that in and of itself will start help generating traffic and visibility on the internet. Then all the other stuff would just help increase that visibility.
Oh, thank you. I think I need to do a Google My Business page. So let's backtrack to social media a little bit. Social media is changing the landscape of how businesses are acquiring customers. How would you suggest businesses or people staying ahead of the curve? And let's start with Navari.
I think it goes back to what Dallas was saying with video. Video definitely help you stay ahead of the curve. I know it's a challenge for some because, there are a lot of people that's introverted, such as myself. But it definitely helps a lot because, again, what Dallas said before, she really did explain it well. If people actually can see you, they feel like they can touch you, they feel like they know you, then that actually is part of building your brand. That's really like the core of it in particular. So that's the new curve right now. So if you're ahead of it now, as you build your audience with it, come up with a strategy, come up with a tagline, come up with a hashtag, something to build your brand upon, and so that people can really differentiate you from their competition.
Dallas?
I think with staying ahead of the curve, I think because everything is so digital now, I think that we should go back to the old school.
Offline.
We need to do more offline stuff. We need to talk to people. We need to pick up the phone. We need to get out and shake hands and network. We need to kick it old school. That's what I think.
Meetup.com.
Right. Meetup.com. I think that the way to stay ahead of the curve is to do what a lot of the younger generation, sorry, I am young, I think, but a lot of the younger generation kind of are shying away from now is that personal connection. It's sad. A lot of us, we don't pick up the phone anymore. I'm guilty. We don't pick up the phone. We don't. Happy birthdays are just done on Facebook. I think that that even bleeds over into our businesses, right? And I think that we need to stay ahead of the curve. We got to kick it old school. We need to go back to how we used to do things. Start calling up our leads, getting on more calls, getting out to more events, networking, shaking hands more. I think that will make your business stand out today.
I agree with the video, the whole video revolution, and Jamilah and I Am a Brand is that's a key focus. That's one of the reasons I joined the I Am a Brand network, is because of the expertise that the whole network and Jamilah have in the online video space, and so I really wanted to follow Jamilah on how to do that well, because it was obvious to me this young lady is going places because. You can feel the energy. When somebody is on the move. We talk about Mavericks on the move. This major Maverick on the move, and so I want to learn from the best. So that's one of the reasons I joined the network. But I would say you don't have to do it yourself. I say hijack other people's networks. So I do. That's one of the reasons I got involved with I Am Brand. She puts me. I occasionally am on doing a live video, but I don't have to do it myself. She invites me, and then I get online. I just got a customer from being on a podcast today. Actually,
wow.
I participated. There's the biggest SEO podcast in the world is called eWeb Results. It's based out of Houston, Texas, and I listen to it like religiously because it's great SEO information. And so occasionally I'll comment and put my voice in and ask questions. And so I was asking a very detailed question about the knowledge panel and Google and my opinion about what it was, and they confirmed my thoughts, and they said Brian's a genius. That's exactly what you need to do. And if you're in Maryland, you should look him up. I had somebody call me today, said I listened to that channel and I wanted somebody in Maryland, and they mentioned you on the podcast, so I called you up and I got a legal firm client today.
Wow. Is that the same legal firm that just went on your site
That's
and
a
was
different
digging? Wow. Okay, a totally different one. But you bring up an interesting point, because word of mouth and referral marketing is the jackpot of marketing, period. Because what happens is the person that you work with, or the person that's doing the referring, transfers the trust of your brand to their friends, their family, their network, and you're as good as gold. You're as good as in when people do that. So I want to backtrack to what you were talking about, Dallas, as in terms of relationship and how it's very difficult in this day and age to build those genuine relationships because we live in such a digital world. So give us some tips on how we can connect with our customers despite online and all of this noise that social media presents to us.
One of the things that I do is I think it's really, really important to be extremely big on follow-up. So once you've worked with someone was your client, they bought your course, you really stand out when you take the time out of your day to reach out to them and say, hey, how did you like the course? Is there anything else I can help you with? Can you please leave me a review? Let me know how I'm doing. Just getting the conversation going, I think really, really helps you to stand out. That's one of the ways I do it. And there are ways you can stay organized with that to remember to follow up with your customers as well. Maybe some spreadsheets. So I know that there are like some customer management systems that I don't really use, but you can always add someone's name to your calendar just to remember to follow up with that person. And it really makes you stand out, because a lot of business owners are like, grab your money and go. You never see them again. You never hear from them again. They never ask for a review or anything. They're just gone after they take your money. So you're taking the time to reach back out to that customer, even to ask. I know sometimes I coach people on different platforms just to say, hey, how are you making out? How are you doing? Is everything good? Are you selling? Are you stuck? All of that makes you stand out, I think, in this digital age.
Okay. Navarre, how can we strengthen customer relationships in this digital age?
Definitely. Digital is great for building an audience, but at the end of the day, you still have to meet your clients in person and really go out to events, network, face to face. You have to do both. You can't do one or the other. And really, I would say with it, get more in depth with your clients to really get to know about them in their life. Everybody's different with their clients and how they run their business and their brand. But if you're actually teaching your clients more on a friendship level, if that you're kind of trying to really just build a relationship that's actually genuine, care about what's going on with their family, or at least just ask in particular, because entrepreneurship is a lifestyle, so you have to have a nice work-life balance. And if you're going to be working a lot with your clients, it's best to kind of like build that relationship where you have that closeness with them in a sense.
Okay. Brian?
I would say under promise, over deliver. It depends on your business. The best ways to increase your relationship with your customers is to give them what they want and do it better than they expected. For my business, get it, the SEO part of things, getting them on page one, getting the phone call calling, that's what they care about. They want leads, and so by delivering that, that's pretty much what they're looking for. One of the ways that I stay in touch with them, is through social media. I will, be invested in your customer's business. Like I do, most of my business is business to business, and so really understanding what their goals are and then supporting them in their goals. One of the things that I do really differently than my competitors is that I actually follow them around on their social media, and I'm going to be the person that's promoting their business more than their own staff even. Like I'll be on all their social media, I'll be liking stuff, and they'll comment to me like, "Man, you're all over my stuff. You're like commenting on my stuff." And it's not always me. It's like my team is also helping me do that. But it's intentional. It's really staying customer focused and really having an invested interest in building their business and giving them advice that's totally outside of what you're doing for them. Like, think outside the box. Like, suggest that they join a networking group. If I'm doing SEO, but suggest they join a networking group in their region that if I think, it's going to help their business.
All great answers. All great. And so we all complain that there aren't enough hours in the day. Can we agree that sometimes we're like, where's the day gone? So relationship building is one of those activities that's a non-negotiable activity, period. So what are some key tips to optimizing our time online so those online activities are yielding an ROI of our time? And let's start with Dallas.
I just would say, for me, I can only speak for me. I have to actually set boundaries for myself, and because social media can be very distracting. So it's good for business, but it can be very, very, very distracting. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot going on. So for me, it is one of the biggest, for me personally in the recent past, one of my biggest, I would say, progress killers, because my attention span is so short when I go on social media. I go on specifically to maybe engage with my group or maybe reach out to a customer, but then I'm scrolling, I'm reading, I'm loving, liking, I'm laughing, I'm doing too much. So I would say setting boundaries for myself, especially when I get up in the morning, do everything I'm going to do. When I sit down at my desk to work, I put my phone in another room. I separate myself from the phone, and I decide on how many hours a day I'm going to spend on social media. That way I time myself and how many times I'm going to do it and how long I'm going to do it for. Me personally, I just have to be disciplined because I can get very distracted.
Yeah, and I will have to agree, because I think we can all agree that sometimes we get sucked into Facebook or sucked into LinkedIn, and we're on our phones, we're scrolling, and then we look up and 30 minutes have passed by. We look up an hour, like, where has the time gone? What have I been doing? I got all the way down to the timeline. So that brings me to Navari. How does branding play a role in this? And you talked a little bit about storytelling in the beginning. And so optimizing our time, let's connect that with optimizing our time online and storytelling and combining the two so that they yield that proper ROI. And how do you allot the time to do that?
Pretty much, I would say throughout your day, if you know your schedule, if you're going to be a day when you're in the office and you're going to be working, or if it's a day where you have a lot of meetings aligned, going out and about, then pretty much brand your strategy as far as like on social media pertaining to that. If you're going to be in the office working and you know that you don't have a lot to post or talk about that day in particular, something I would do is start with quotes or something that pertains to your brand that's giving your audience value, whether you're like giving them knowledge of your brand or just anything in particular pertaining to your work. If you have any offers, anything that's coming up in particular, or ask questions. That's another way to get people engaged with you as well. Other than that, me personally with it, what I do is in the morning I would get on there on social media, and usually around like after 5. At the same time, I know that the rest of the world is pretty much going to work or getting off work, where most traffic will be online. Searching social media is like the perfect time for me to post throughout the day. So I'm like, all right, nobody's going to look at it mainly throughout the day, depending on your audience. I mean, if your customers in particular are the 9-to-5 workers, then that's perfect for you to do that because they'll be at work. So if you're going to post at a time that they'll actually check social media, it'll be during lunch, in the morning, or anytime after 5 o'clock. If it's B2B, then you have to get a little bit more strategic and just show your lifestyle in particular. If you're going out for an event like right now, pop up on the camera right quick and just give them some value.
So basically what you're saying is creating the experience for your audience.
Definitely.
Okay. And Brian, same question. What are some key tips to optimizing your time online so our online activities are yielding an ROI of our time?
Well, when you start going beyond a solo entrepreneur and you start like getting to a point of like building a team of people you're working with, then get them to do it. So I have one person doing managing my Facebook. I've got another person on my team, another one of my social media managers that manages other people's stuff. Also manage. So I'm hiring my own team to manage my own stuff. And so they manage my Twitter. If there's a question, sometimes, since I connect with all these people, all these different platforms, sometimes they want to talk customer questions with me through these platforms. And so I have them listening. And if there's a question coming through Twitter, they'll let me know, and then I'll jump on Twitter and then answer that question. LinkedIn, I pretty much manage myself individually. But I'm always introducing people. I'm always referring business through LinkedIn. It's the best way to refer business is directly through LinkedIn. So I'll make all my introductions through LinkedIn. So I do that personally. So that's kind of like throughout the day. But I would say when you start getting to a little bit more of an agency level, then you should really rely on other people. So I check all my stuff like at night, like when I'm on my way to bed or during dinner. I check it in breakfast when I'm watching CNN.
And that actually segues perfectly into my next question is, what's your go-to social media platform for getting leads and customers? I think I know what you're going to say.
You think you know what I might say?
I want to say LinkedIn for you. I already know. You're a LinkedIn guy.
Yeah, LinkedIn. I'm major LinkedIn. And also, one of the ways I get leads through LinkedIn is through LinkedIn Pro Finder. Who's familiar with that? LinkedIn Pro Finder?
I'm a Pro Finder.
So LinkedIn, nobody's raising their hand out there. You familiar with Pro Finder? So it's a relatively new platform within LinkedIn. It starts off as free, and I've gotten some my biggest single client this year came through my first LinkedIn Pro Finder lead, the Genetic Alliance, which is right around here somewhere actually. I've got 2 almost full-time people like dedicated to that account now, like helping them do UI UX changes and then manage a major doctor database, and we're doing a major upgrade on their system. So I get great leads through LinkedIn, and then I'm making all those business connections, as you know.
Yeah. Dallas, same question. What's your favorite go-to social media platform, and how do you acquire customers from that platform?
I have to say, Pinterest is good from an e-commerce standpoint because it's more, I wouldn't say they're customers, but from a different angle. Because with e-commerce, you're just selling products. So a lot of the customers do come from Pinterest. So that is, but from a standpoint of students and clients where I'm helping with marketing, a lot of my business actually comes from the Facebook platform for the most part.
Okay. And Navari, I know you're going to say Instagram, right?
Instagram and LinkedIn.
Okay. And so what's your customer acquisition strategy on those platforms?
Pretty much on, I would say Instagram. If there's a post that's like I post and I get a lot of engagement, then I'll go back and add some more money in there to boost that post, just so they run around a little bit more, get more exposure for it. Usually I'll use that on content where I'm actually selling something in particular or giving something away. And usually my strategy on this, since I'm designing, is to show some work, offer some value, some quick tips or hints on design or branding, and then ask for the sale. So it's like jab, jab, hook.
Did you say jab, jab? Right. Oh, you're a Gary Vee fan, huh? And Valencia asked a question, and it's actually a question that I was going to ask as well, because, again, I'm bringing you guys back to the topic. Today we're talking about how to reach 1 million people online, but like I said before, you're not going to probably reach 1 million people at one time. Everyone is looking for that silver bullet on social media. I'm looking for that viral Facebook post. I'm looking for that viral Instagram or that viral video, but it rarely ever happens. It's a consistent effort over time. So the question then becomes, how do you balance your personal brand with your business brand, and where does one end and one begin, and how do you manage the two, or do they blend, do they merge? Brian, go first.
I was hoping you were going to ask him first. He's actually helping me with my business brand. I've just rebranded Low Big Ink with a beautiful new logo from Intuitive Creative. That's something I'm struggling with, because as you start off as a solo, I started off as a solo entrepreneur, so it's all about me. My name, my business is lowbiginc.com. No, there's no such thing as a low big except my name. It's Low Big, and so it's gone from a personal brand to now I have 15 people working for me, and they all got Low Big Ink email addresses, and so now I'm going kind of at this place where what is the personal brand, like which accounts. I haven't created a Low Big Ink Twitter account. Still got my own Twitter account, But I do have a business Low Gink LinkedIn account, LinkedIn page, and so it's really a transition, and so I don't know how to answer your question. I'm dancing around it. It's kind of a
You're going through it.
I'm growing through it. It's like
Yeah.
when does I'm becoming a business. I'm an LLC. I'm an S corporation now, and I'm probably going to be hiring employees pretty soon. They've all been 1099s, even though they're full time. My accountant is telling me, Elton is suggesting I should probably reassess all my subcontractors to make sure they're still subcontractor status. In California, they're not. They have a really stringent way of evaluating subcontractors, and they'd all be staff, like every single one of them. I need to be paying stuff on them. So I don't know if that answers your question.
It does, but it doesn't. And that's okay. Does anyone else have that challenge of blending personal brand, business brand? Where does it end? Where does one begin? Anyone else? Anyone? Okay, no one has that challenge. I don't see any hands raised, so I'm just gonna. Okay. No. You blend together. Okay. So Navari, how would you? Let's go to you. How would you answer that question?
It's funny because before I started doing design, I was actually doing art, and in particular digital art, paintings, and I use that personally with my separate personal Instagram account, and that actually did give me a lot of traffic as well and a lot of work, and I honestly had to start choosing between art and design, but over time I realized I wanted to do design, and I just blended the two. So it's just like you can let people know exactly what you are doing in your personal life, your hobbies, and it all ties in together, like even more for even selling more of your gifts, your talents, and more value to your brand. So nowadays I just really blend my business in with my personal life, and it's been working.
Dallas?
Yeah, I agree. I think it just all flows together. It's hard to separate it because when you love what you do, you're passionate about it. It's who you are. You're basically getting paid to wake up and be yourself every day. So it's hard to split it. It's just like that's who you are. I used to struggle with that. Like, how do I separate these? This side of me from that side of me. But it's just no need stressing yourself over that. It just all flows together. Just be you and just let it flow. I think that's the best way.
I think it's easier if you have a business brand that's not named after yourself, or it's not kind of personalized, like the Ecom Cash Queen. That's kind of personalized, intuitive create. I mean, that's like a totally you can sell that. That's like no one would know that it's connected to you unless they're looking at your Instagram. You know what I mean?
And I'm going to go ahead and answer this question because I think I'm the master at blending but separating both of my brands. So I'm Jamilah Corbitt, the Jamilah Corbitt brand, and most of you guys know my company. I am a brand, which is its own brand, like Intuitive Create. The problem becomes when your personal brand and your business brand are kind of merged together, and you're the Ecom Cash Queen, but you're also Dallas Gordon, the ecom coach, marketing strategist, author, and all of these other things. And so what I do is there's two distinct personalities for each brand. My brand is personal to me. So what I use on social media is I will share my story. I do a lot of storytelling. I give behind the scenes. I take people on the journey with me to scaling my company, I Am a Brand, to growing my company, and to hiring, how we make decisions, and that's part of it. And by doing that, when you take people on the journey, they become part of the story. Then they want to know more about your company. Then they want to join your company. And so I've been able to effectively become a conduit for gaining more clients, building an audience, and then people fall in love with I Am a Brand because they understand the mission, the vision, the core values, and they synergize with that. So you don't have to necessarily separate the two, but you have to be clear on where the boundaries and where one ends and where the other begins. Valencia, I know did that answer your question?
I think so. When I first came on social media, I just got on Periscope, and I was just me on Periscope, and it did morph into me bringing my business to Periscope because I was showing up and I was thinking, what am I talking about? Like every day. When I first started, I was actually in the kitchen making a brine because it was Thanksgiving time and I wanted to go on. But over time, I started training people on how to speak with public speaking, and that's
Because people knew you for one thing, and they associated you with that one thing.
Because I had
Right.
grown so much in that Periscope space,
Right.
and the launch was so successful, people expected me to continue teaching people how to speak.
Gotcha. Okay. So we're going to wrap this up, and I want to talk a little bit about traffic tips, like in particular traffic tips. And I'm going to put all of you on the spot, so get ready. The question of the day: what are some actionable tips that we can go home and implement to get more traffic and boost sales? Because I'm bringing it back. The topic: how do we reach those 1 million people online? So let's start with Navari.
Okay. Put me on the spot.
On the spot.
I would say for me, what I usually do is, again, it goes like hand in hand. So whenever I'm on social media, my tip is to offer value any type of way. So if I don't have any content to post that day, or I can't think of something to actually post that day, it does happen sometimes, then I would put something out there that's educating my clients, in particular educating my audience. And also you can leverage, like Brian was saying before, different platforms that you're on. Join different networking groups, Facebook groups, get involved, get engaged with other businesses on there as well, and make those connections. And with that as well, it allows you to get more people to actually refer you and be familiar with your brand, you as a person. Because again, like I said, people work with who they like, who they know, and who they can trust. So the best way you can build trust is letting people know who you are. So if you're engaged constantly on social media, especially with Facebook groups, Instagram in particular, then you can actually, reach out to your audience and really make that connection. Like I said, I'm sorry, it goes hand in hand though, but that's what really been working for me. And from there, I've actually built those relationships with those people, and it also has been referred work to me through that.
So Gary Vee would actually say, and I say this as well, it's scaling the unscalable. So adding that personal touch, doing things that you can't necessarily scale, like you can auto DM people, but when you actually take the time to say their name, hey, Navari, I saw that you liked my photo. You said you're in the DC area. Would you like to meet up for coffee? That's scaling the unscalable, and that's what you're touching on, right?
Yeah.
So doing more of that. Dallas, your answer?
I'd say the best way to get more traffic is everybody wants to go with the popular social media or traffic site. So if we all say Facebook works, that's where we want to go. If we all say Instagram is a place to be, that's where everybody wants to run to. If we all say it's YouTube or it's Periscope, whatever the end platform is, that's where everybody wants to go. And I personally I feel like I wasted time in my business going places just because everybody else was going there. I think that focus on what makes you an expert. What is your expertise? What do you specialize in? So if it's graphic design, go where there's already targeted traffic for graphic designers. If you are an instructor, go where there's already targeted traffic for instructors. There are so many platforms out here that have actually done the work to build audiences just for you. So start to look around to see what makes sense for you. And I think that instead of just running to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, whatever, instead of running to the end platform at this moment, find out what you're good at and go where there's targeted traffic for you. It'll cut out a lot of the work.
So, for instance, let's give some examples. If you have a course and you're an educator, maybe you want to use Udemy or what's some other places?
Right. I mean, Udemy that's a big one.
Yes.
That's a big one for people who are instructors, people who teach. It's so much traffic over there, and it's so targeted for people who teach.
Or maybe you're a creative. There's Etsy.
Right, there's Etsy. That's a specific marketplace for creators. So for people who want something handmade, they're going to go to Etsy to get it. So instead of it's nothing wrong with building your traffic from scratch, but you're doing more work than you need to. go where the traffic is for your specific area of expertise and let them do the heavy lifting for you. It's a quicker way to build your business.
And Brian?
My suggestion is to really go back to basics. Start simple. Like when I go when I do like an assessment of a client's internet presence, I'll quickly go through all their social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever they're on, and I'll start looking at directories. I'll go look at if they go to meetup groups. A lot of people are, especially in my field, like business, like lawyers, doctors, professionals, CPAs. A lot of them are going to business networking things. And so I'll go look at all their business networking profiles. Like if they're going to BNI, Business Networking International, I'll go look at their BNI profile. 9 times out of 10, they will not have any links to their social media. 9 times out of 10, they won't put their email address. 9 times out of 10, they won't have a description of what their business is. They have all these they're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, but they have nothing about their business on their profile that they get with the price of their Chamber of Commerce membership. I have gotten business from every single social media, I think, because I've had a completely filled out profile with a headshot that's consistent across all the different platforms. I'm linking to every social media platform that I'm connected with. I literally have gotten business from everything, including Snapchat, because I'm consistent. You go to those platforms and just optimize those things. That's like my pet peeve. I do a whole presentation on personal branding SEO. And personal branding SEO is about finding all those platforms that you're a member of. Meetup is my pet peeve too, because lots of people are on Meetup.com, but go look at your profile. I guarantee, like 9 out of 10 people in this audience, I do a lot of these presentations. 9 out of 10 of people in the audience have not linked to their social media. You can link to LinkedIn, you can link to Facebook, and you can link it to Twitter, I think now. That's it. And they don't have a description of who they are, and they have no link to their business. And so when you're going to these meetup groups, people are going to see who's coming. There's 15 people coming. They're going to look and see who's coming. All they're going to see 5 times out of 10, they're not even going to see your headshot because you haven't uploaded an image of yourself. And so there's like no chance to connect. So my big thing is go back to basics. Go and optimize all your profiles. I guarantee you will get visits, traffic, and business through that process.
Well, thank you. I'm probably one of those people, one of those 8 out of 10 people, or 8 out of 3 out of 5. What was your stat? What was the stat?
8 out of 10,
3 out of 5. I'm one of those people. So let's give our panelists another round of applause. Do we have any questions specifically for our panelists?
You can have the mic.
Yeah, we can hand you the mic. Any questions? None? None. Zero. Zilch.
Yeah, I have a question. Do I have to use the mic?
Yes, use the mic, please.
Oh, actually, your phone is dead. Okay, so say you do go viral, you get that hit, you get a million views. How do you keep that momentum going? How do you keep the excitement up?
That's a good question. Navari, you want to answer that?
I would say whatever you did to get viral, if it's working, keep doing it. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. In particular, also build upon that a lot by using it as a sales funnel to other options of like what you're selling as well. Is sales funnel to your website as well. I mean, that's going to bring in a lot of traffic. You can also use that to leverage yourself for the bring in more brands to like what you're actually doing within your audience. So if you want to promote something else in particular, that's going to be working a strategy towards your business or offering more value to your customers, the more the better. I mean,
So one of the things I have a couple little side businesses, and I leverage all my traffic on other stuff to help my side businesses. So Navari and I actually run a live music open mic up in Columbia, Maryland. And I leverage all my other, like I invite everybody from my business networking groups, and I create a meetup thing, and we invite everybody to come out to do spoken word or live music up in Columbia, Maryland once a month at Root Studio. And so, like, really...
That's a plug. Quick plug.
And so use those connections for other purposes. Promote your, just like what Navari said.
You want to answer that, Dallas?
Sure. I would say if you've gone viral and it's working, hopefully that equals sales. So the more sales you get, the more you can afford to expand your team, get other people helping you to sustain that success, because I don't think a lot of people think that way. I think that some entrepreneurs think forever and ever and ever, I'm going to have to do this myself. But as you go viral and you begin to get more sales, it's time to start building your team so that they can start duplicating those processes that, like Navari said, you already had in place. And it can grow. It can continue to really, really grow when you build out a team and have other people helping you to take those steps as well.
I'm gonna quickly answer that question. Everyone wants to go viral. Every single person wants to go viral. We actually have someone in the audience that went viral right there. Tammy. Yeah. How many views? How many? You say million, right? 1.8 million. Yeah. So what I would on Facebook. It was okay. So go ahead, take the mic real quick. Explain how you went viral on Facebook. And then I'm gonna answer the question.
So what happened was I have two friends from home. I'm initially from Chicago. My friend Shannon is from Chicago. Her boyfriend is from Ohio. They came to visit, and they do karaoke all the time in Chicago and Ohio. And then from time to time, whenever they get together, they do karaoke together. So they came out here. We were asking people about where we can do karaoke. Nobody could give us anything. So we were just sitting at my dining room table, and I was like, okay, sing. And they started singing, and I recorded it, and I was like, oh, y'all know I put this on Facebook. And they were like, no, take it off. It sounds like this. It sounds like this. And he was like, no, keep it on. We woke up the next morning, and we had 500 views the next morning, and then the next week, and it just kept going and kept going. So it's turned into a lot of work for me because they have gotten a lot of solicitation for them to come sing at weddings and things of that nature. So it has taken over my life for the last 3 weeks in a very, very good way, and it was nothing that they planned. So then they hadn't been together in 3 weeks since they were here, and last Thursday they got together. They did karaoke again. We posted it, and it just kept shooting. So it's just repeating what they did. And like Kim was just explaining to me, love songs. And that's what it was. It was just them singing a love song. And because they're in love, when they sing, you can feel them singing to each other. So you can honestly feel it. But when we posted, it was just like for fun. We had no idea that it was going to go to the magnitude of which it did. So it's caused us to do some other things to make it, you know.
And so I'm going to give you something that you can implement right now when you to capitalize off the momentum and to continue the momentum is, and again, not everyone goes viral, but if it, like in your case, it happened on Facebook. So what I would do is make sure you have an effective call to action. So if just edit your title, and maybe you want to drive them to a website, drive them to how they can connect with you directly. That'll increase your leads. It's going to increase your dollars. Also, continue recycling it in the timeline. That's the key. That's what a lot of people miss. So on the algorithms, get the algorithms to work in your favor and comment, respond to people, and continue commenting on that post, and you'll give it some new. Yep.
They have not missed a single person. So everybody gets a thank you, a comment, and
it keeps it relevant, yes, in the algorithm. So there are certain strategies and tactics that you can use for every platform. We're not going to get into that today, but do we have any other questions in the audience? All right, awesome. Let's give them another round of applause. Stay there. It's not over yet, because now I believe in giving before I even ask for anything. One of my goals for Mavericks on the Move, and you guys are now part of this story, is to bring together the DC business community. This was a shot in the dark, honestly. I didn't know who was going to show up. I didn't know who was going to attend, but it's only going to get better. I can promise you that. We're going to go after some more sponsors, and we're going to have such awesome dynamic conversations in the future. So continue coming back every second Wednesday of the month, and you'll continue to see it improve. But I believe in giving to the audience. So our panelists have agreed to give away some awesome stuff for you guys. And my mother right here is going to give that to Rais, and Rais is going to bring it to me. So make sure, did everyone put their business card in there, if you have one? And yes. Thank you. No need to ask questions. Just obey. Thank you. And we're going to draw some names. To make it fair, I'm not going to be the one that picks the names. So tell them what you're giving away.
I am giving away a new car. No, I'm just kidding. I'm giving away a website SEO assessment, which I usually do for $400.
All right. Pick the winner. You close your eyes.
Fiat Lux Tours. All right.
Yay!
Your website's about to be on page 1.
And Dallas, tell the awesome people what you are giving away.
I'm giving away a 30-minute marketing strategy session. May go longer because I like to over-deliver. How much did I say, Jamilah? It was like $150.
I'm gonna need you to know your
split it in
prices.
half. Okay, so I think it's about worth $150.
All right, and you draw the name. Close your eyes.
Homeland Security. Valencia Daniel.
What? Hey.
Right.
And Navari, what are you giving away?
I'm giving away a free brand audit. So that's going to be analysis and examination of your brand, in particular in your business. So I will really be reviewing your site, your site, your social media, your logos, all of your marketing material in particular. And I'll be letting you know exactly what works, what's not working in your favor, and how you can improve it.
And I'm going to take your card out. And go ahead. Close your eyes. Okay.
This is Jackie McKinnon. Fit to travel.
Must be present to win.
You must be present to win, but that's okay.
Tasha G, Polished Lifestyle.
There she is, right there. Yay! All right. So I'll leave you guys to connect with the winners at the very end. Any other questions as we wrap up here? One last segment. So as always, I'm in the giving spirit, and every single Mavericks on the Move, I want to give the opportunity to come up and share exactly what you do. So this segment is called Pitch Your Business. Now, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So I want to offer you guys the opportunity, if you want to come up here and share it. Wait, you got to, no, come on. Before I tell you the rules, come on up, since you volunteered. No, come on. Let's give her a round of applause. Come on, let's go. Yay. You can hear the rules after you come up. You agreed. You're committed. Stand right here. So here are the rules. The rules are you have 45 seconds to pitch your business. Tell us who you are, what you do, and who you're trying to connect with. That piece is important because we're all about establishing connections, symbiotic relationships here. Let me take out my timer because I am going to time you.
I like to talk.
That's good. Talk for 45 seconds.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
And begin.
Hey everyone, my name is Tasha G. The name of my company is called Polished Lifestyle. So what I do is help people discover how to live a polished lifestyle through the mind, body, beauty, and the bank. And I'm currently looking to connect with people that's 35 and over. I have a wonderful product that's going to make you feel like you're 20 again.
That was only 19 seconds. Miss, I like to talk. Okay, keep going. Tell us who you're trying to connect with.
I just said it.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I'm connecting with men and women, but particularly I have a hot new product that's coming out that's anybody that's in the range of 35 and older that's going to love it. I'm helping people get healthier. I'm helping people lose weight. I'm helping people grow their hair back. It's possible.
Good job. That was 45 seconds on the dot. No, that's it. That's it. You already won something. Anyone else would like to come up and share? I know Michael's looking around like, I'm thinking, should it be?
Michael B. Jordan.
Yes. 45 seconds, who you are, what you do, who you're trying to connect with. And go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Pendleton. I'm an online marketer. I'm trying to connect with all online marketers and small business owners. I sell and I market the Royalty Gem, which is a Bluetooth beacon that allows you to promote your business on the most looked at device on the planet, the cell phone.
Awesome. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's give him a round of applause. 45 seconds seems to be too long. Anyone else would like to come up and share? There you go. All right. The game changer. And begin.
My name is Valencia Daniel. I'm an international trainer, author, and speaker. I use
Your expertise in
I know,
neuroscience.
that's right. I use my expertise in neuroscience, change management, and leadership to tailor trainings to individuals and organizations. My current focus is teaching people who are online selling how to really train, because most people don't know how.
All right. Thank you. "45 seconds and begin."
Hi, I'm Andrew. I own Fiat Lux Tours, a private luxury tour company here in Washington, D.C. So I specialize in basically anywhere you'd want to go in the district. You want to know more about the American History Museum, National Mall, Capitol Hill, Georgetown, Chinatown. I can tell you everything you'd want to know and probably a lot more. I am looking for people that are visiting Washington, D.C. or locals that want to know more about the city that I think is one of the best in the world.
Awesome. I think next month is going to be 30 seconds. Because all of you guys are basically under 30 seconds. So give yourselves another round of applause. I want to personally thank you guys for coming out, sharing your time with me. I want to thank my I Am a Brand team who was not able to be here today. And in particular, I would like to thank Megan, who reached out to some of you guys, maybe you guys that are online, reached out to some of you guys to come, which is she's my marketing coordinator. I would also like to thank our digital media manager, Malik. Our team is distributed, so they couldn't make it today, but it could not have gone, we could not have done this without the help of the supporting cast. I would like to thank my mom right here for keeping everybody in check. I would like to thank my brother who's behind the camera, who has the eye. So I appreciate you guys, and again, give yourselves another round of applause. And I will see you next month. Can someone get a date for me? Second Wednesday in July. What date is that exactly? I should know about heart, but I don't. The 11th. I will see you guys right here on the 11th. I have your cards. I will be following up with each and every one of you because the art is wait. What am I trying to say? The art is in the follow-up. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you. Yes. So again, that concludes Mavericks on the Move. Thanks.